not rinsing her mouth out, not doing anything, just sat down and had a shot of tequila. Is that okay? I don't think so.
It's time to take A Therapeutic Dose, a prescription-strength reality TV podcast that explores the intersection of reality TV and therapy. Possible side effects may include entertainment, strong emotional reactions, and/or laughter. Here are your hosts, Ramona Ramirez and Margie McGee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Therapeutic Dose, where we meet at the intersection of reality TV and therapy. I am Margie McGee, and with me, as always, is my dear friend and co-host.
Hello, I am Ramona Ramirez Higgins. I just realized that I had not turned on one of my settings on my little interface. Realized in the nick of time. Who gives a shit? I'm so sorry. I'm already doing this. We're 10 seconds in and I'm already talking about what I didn't do and over-explaining myself. One day without my ADHD meds, over-explaining, and then feeling paranoid for over-explaining.
All simultaneously, it feels like almost.
That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. So welcome to A Therapeutic Dose, where we don't shy away from talking about
all the ways we've healed and all the ways we have yet, all the places
everything.
We have room to grow. Yeah,
everywhere we have room to grow, and every way that the things show up in our everyday lives. Margie, I'm very happy to see you.
You as well, my friend.
Yeah. I guess we can just get right into it.
Oh, let's get into it. I mean, I hope this is the last episode where we have to see and hear anyone barfing. I think I've hit my limit with seasickness. The last episode, I was like, wow, I get it. What an immersive experience of being on a yacht. And rich people can succumb to queasiness too. This episode, I was like, seeing Brittany at the dinner table have the pre-barf and then the I actually do have to get up and go. I was like, this has become too real. I don't want this in my Housewives anymore.
Margie, I'm so glad that you said something, because watching her vomit, it struck me even more than watching Angie vomit, how yeah, you're right. It is the great equalizer. We all look like animals. We look like dogs when they vomit. I've never really seen, I guess I've seen videos of cats horking up a hairball. But, as someone who's had several dogs, I know what a dog looks like when it barfs. And just seeing the similarities, as you look at Evelyn.
Yes.
Seeing the similarities and how the body just kind of convulses. I'm like, wow, we really shed our human differences and get real animal when we vomit.
It's clearly involuntary, and we've had 2 full episodes now of watching it, and I'm literally like, this is not why I'm tuning in. And it's really become, the editors really featured it in both episodes, and I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
However, that being said, I'll never tire of Mary Cosby talking about farts. The fact that farts came up again in this episode.
My God.
An old man farting while making out, farting in the ocean, so much farts. And that delights me no end. So I guess I got to take my vitamins with my ice cream and watch Brittany barf so I can hear Mary talk about farts.
You are smart and say things that make a lot of sense. You're the writer.
I don't know if that's the case or if this episode was falling short time-wise. So they're like, you know what? I guess we got to make a meal out of Brittany barfing.
Ew.
Okay. Here's an extra 90 seconds of episode. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Blech.
We are talking about The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Episode 8, Loose Lips Sink Friendships.
Like it. I like it.
Okay. We pick up, and the next morning, this is only day 2 of the trip. My God, only day 2. Bronwyn wakes up on the top deck where she has slept on a chaise lounge the entire night before. The crew ask her, how is she doing? Can I bring you some water? And she asks for a Dr. Pepper. And she qualified it immediately as, I know that's weird. And I just qualified what I was doing when we first started by pressing the button I forgot to press, and hence beating myself up for it. I felt that qualification in my soul. I self-preserve in really odd ways. and maybe it's actually not so odd, but like, listen, I know this is a weird request, and I don't want you to think that I don't know that you think this is weird. So I'm just going to point out how weird it is and how weird I am before you think it, lest you think I don't know. Projecting, projecting, projecting. But that is how my brain processed this scene. She's got to preserve. She's got to protect herself from that judgment, lest it happen.
But it is also, I'm someone who has very specific and occasionally unusual requests. And part of me wonders, like, I don't know. I would have done the same thing, I'm guessing, just because a Dr. Pepper of all things is a little, as opposed to having someone say, did I hear that right? I would just get ahead of it and be like, yes, I'm going to have a water and a Dr. Pepper at 8 a.m. That's what's happening.
I don't even think it's weird.
The Dr. Pepper part threw me only because of where they are. They're not in America. But I guess she probably put it on her preference sheet. So
For
they must have
sure.
expected someone wanted it. Yeah, you're right. Never mind.
For sure.
Then we check in with Whitney and Heather, who are hungover, and Whitney praises Heather for holding Lisa accountable, as they apparently sat on that floating platform for quite some time last night, with Heather trying to get Lisa to admit that she is the bone collector and the leaker of information to the press. And I thought of you when Heather was talking about how she doesn't want Lisa keeping a scorecard. So here we are on the cosmic scoreboard, which is a losing venture. And Heather says, I don't want her to count our money, know all our dirty deeds and all the skeletons in our closet. If she's a friend, be a friend. And we get the flashback to Heather trying to insist that Lisa just admit what we all know is true, that Lisa knows everything and leaks all of it. And Heather says, when I have a question about anyone or anything, I go to you. And I don't know why you're shying away from that. And Lisa bursts into her signature tears. I work so hard. What does that mean? What question is that answering? You're insane. I did appreciate Heather's conclusion of this, of like, she refused to admit or apologize for how she's behaved in the past or say that she'll make any efforts to change in the future. And Heather said the most discouraging thing was that she refused to be honest, and that will definitely change our dynamic. And I was like, yeah, that is the right way to approach the aftermath of a conversation that went nowhere like that.
I loved it. I loved her answer. I loved her answer when Whitney said, what do you do? How do you move on if Lisa won't do what is a reasonable boundary, like if she won't follow a reasonable boundary?
If she's in total denial of reality, it's even worse than not like abiding by a boundary. It's so clear to all of us. And you continue to insist that the sky is onyx when in fact it's bright blue. So this isn't working.
When she answered Whitney, she said, I'm going to have to reframe the friendship and we'll never be close because I won't trust her. And I loved it because it's very non-dramatic, even though it might sound super dramatic. It might sound like a really grand declaration, but it's actually just like internal boundaries and full-ass serene acceptance of what is. This is what Lisa's capable of. If we stay in this relationship with Lisa, it means it's on us to accept her for who she is. And who she is not necessarily trustworthy. So, like, act accordingly. There's no cutting her out. There's no, like, talking shit about her. This is it. These are the rules if we enter the ring with her.
And isn't that hilarious that in literally the next scene, that is exactly the advice Lisa Barlow gives to Brittany when Brittany's bitching about Bronwyn and Lisa says, well, that's how she's always treated you. So it's on you if you continue to engage with her. And I was like, ooh, Lisa, you're giving us all instructions on how to engage or not engage with you.
Yeah,
But
she's super
first-
good at telling
yeah.
people shit, but like she's so wretched. Anyway, yes, Margie, continue.
Ratchet? Just kidding. We touch base with Lisa and Meredith, who are in bed. Sorry if you can hear the dog digging on the duvet cover. Lisa, oh my God, this was insane. Lisa's confessional where she goes, I just want everyone to wake up and say they were awful to their friend and move on. And I was like, Lisa Barlow, are you out of your fucking mind? You want everyone to apologize to you? She's crazy. She claims that no one defended her, and Meredith objects, saying that I delivered exactly that message, even if they weren't in the words that you would have chosen for me to say. And Lisa is so thin on friends and still says, well, it's a different level of support. And Meredith clearly has hit her limit and she gets out of bed pissed off. And I don't blame her.
Lisa doesn't want friends and she doesn't want a supportive husband. She wants enablers. She wants her dad. She wants people that are going to not call her on her shit or not just have blind fealty and loyalty. I have no patience for her right now. Not in this timeline.
Nobody does. And I'm again, this is what I love about reality TV. I'm loving the unraveling and her just desperately grasping for any last stitch of control she can get a hand on, and there are none left. And I'm here for it.
She also, like the fact that she doesn't see that she's the common denominator. Because I think that even if we weren't seeing this episode or any of their interactions edited the way that they are, everyone's saying the same thing. Everybody is saying the same thing. There's Meredith on one side of the spectrum of what Lisa's doing, and then there's Bronwyn on the other end. Well, everybody else actually on the other end. Meredith is even saying, like, dude, you're free from any criticism at all right now. She's like, if you're doing something I don't support, I'm not going to say anything about it. That's not treating you like glass, Lisa. That's just not letting you be a piece of shit.
And it's also at a certain point, Lisa's denials of her behavior are so outrageous. It's just so clearly not so that you would have to also be willing to appear insane to be like, no, she's right. Because it's like, there's just no way that Lisa hasn't done all of this. Like the timing, the depth of the pattern over years of anytime someone wrongs Lisa, suddenly a news item emerges that's unfavorable and disrupts their life. Like, it's just fucking nuts. She's nuts. And joyless. She's so unhappy. She's
That
just
is
so
it.
unhappy.
That's it.
And that's her own
it.
problem. She would need to admit some shit and change some shit, or she will be an unhappy victim for the rest of her life. And I know people like that. That's a choice. But it really does not make for a very peaceful way to ride out your time on this planet. So
She's going to have nothing but surface relationships, probably her other perfect Mormon mom friends that go to swig and get their heinous ass concoctions of dirty soda, whatever that the fuck is. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not judging it. I just...
Mormon or not, that place is disgusting. The concept of like a soda swamp bucket is gross.
She's not going to have intimacy. And intimacy is what I require and really appreciate in my relationships that I've had since either birth or, some of my best friends go back to 15 fucking years old. Okay? And I'm old. Same box as Lisa Barlow. And my friends will say stuff to me if need be. And guess what I do? I say, I hear that. Okay. Oh, I apologize. Whether my offense was intentional or unintentional, I don't give a shit. I honor my people.
Yeah, there's a way to be. Yeah, no, she just can't be in a relationship of any depth or meaning, because you have to accept all parts of yourself in order to, I don't know, maybe I'm speaking generally. And
no, we're also both like in the conversation we had before we started. We're both in tender spots, and I am not feeling tolerant. I'm not feeling tolerant right now of behavior like this when it feels like I've worked so hard recently to let go above and beyond to be a good, helpful person. I do it because it makes me feel good. But then when I see someone like Lisa absolutely just being willful defects of character run rampant, and I'm in a tender spot, and I feel like I'm working so hard and the people that I need to be working hard with me are not, holding up their end of the deal. I'm making this sound way more dramatic than it is. I'm just annoyed that I have to work so hard in one situation.
Yeah.
And she's so fucking lazy, dude. It's on everybody else to make her life easier. It's on everybody else. But she's not going to do shit.
But again, it works till it doesn't, you know?
Yeah,
Like
you're
this has
right.
worked for her for a very, very long time. This is the first time that someone started to pull a thread and the sweater is now like in a rapid unravel and she's getting cold and not managing it well. So, but a little light in the episode, the ladies start to gather on one of the decks and Angie emerges feeling, she says, a titch off, but she's committed to having a good day. And everyone is kind of out there chattering. And then Lisa joins the group and they all fall silent. And then in 5 seconds, they all disperse until it's just Brittany and Lisa kind of sitting on the middle deck. And Bronwyn is a deck above them and can hear them talking. So amazing housewiving here. Lisa opens by bitching about Heather confronting her last night, which is, again, insane. And Brittany then starts bitching about Bronwyn, who can hear her from the upper deck and is starting to get, you can see her physically. She's trying to read a book, but you see her tense up, kind of freeze up. And then I could feel the rage through the TV screen. I could feel Bronwyn's rage.
She did not sleep in her bedroom last night. She slept on a chaise lounge on the top deck. So she is not resourced from just having a nice 6 to 8 hours of sleep. If I had to endure 2 minutes of Brittany and Lisa Barlow talking shit about me and I've had no sleep and it's like maybe 8 o'clock in the morning, fuck all the way off.
And it's not just, they're not just shit talking her. What really sends her over the edge is they're shit talking her daughter, or at least they're bringing her daughter's name into the conversation, which Lisa and Bronwyn had explicitly agreed not to do from the lunch they shared on forward. But they're talking about this situation with Bronwyn's daughter and her daughter's grandparents comes up again. Lisa claims that Bronwyn asked her to talk to the grandparents, but then we see the text where Bronwyn says something to the effect of, let's do what you suggested, Lisa, and follow up on getting everyone together. It sounds like to discuss with the grandparents what is about to air on TV, you know?
Oh.
That's what it looked like that text was about, of like, this is going to make the edit, and so we should sit down with Gwen and the grandparents and you to explain, because this is their family. This is their real family, you know? Lisa's such a shit.
Bronwyn's text to Lisa said, Gwen and I talked about it, and if you wouldn't mind reaching out to them, her grandparents, Gwen's grandparents, to explain how this came up, G is willing to meet if they are. Sorry to put you in the middle, but I know you offered, and maybe the best way to approach them.
I know you offered.
Right.
Boom.
Lisa replied that she's happy to, but I don't think this is an exoneration of Lisa's meddling in that situation. I think at this point the damage had been done, and Bronwyn tried to make the best of it. And if Lisa was her bridge to Gwen's grandparents, then maybe Bronwyn took her up on that relationship. So I think the harm was done, though, when Lisa took sides and had her alliance with the grandparents, the rich Mormon family, the good Mormon family, the upstanding moral Mormon family.
Yeah, and when she did it on a TV show that airs nationwide, worldwide, you know, you put that strained family relationship on a pretty big stage and took a really weird angle on it. That's none of your goddamn business, you know?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. And then Mary and Angie join Bronwyn, who moves them away from where she's been sitting so they don't have to eavesdrop on this nightmarish conversation between Brittany and Lisa anymore. Daisy delivers chia puddings, one without berries or nuts, for Mary. And Meredith then enters, followed by Whitney and Heather. And I wrote, Lisa then enters, victimized by the sea. I might want nausea bracelets, she says. So now suddenly, like, she's trying to put herself in a position of people going like, aw, poor Lisa, are you okay? It's like, you're not nauseous. You don't need bracelets. You're just trying to like get away from the fact that everyone's on to you and the jig is up, ma'am.
Yeah, dude. Seriously. So Heather says they're going to take a day trip. They're going to take a tender, which is like a little electric raft,
It's a smaller boat, yes. Yeah.
to a Tobago Key and disembark for some snorkeling and some solid ground. Bronwyn makes a joke. She asks Mary if she can sleep in her room with Angie that night. And Brittany says, Bronwyn, you can sleep in our room. And Bronwyn's all, no, dude, you were trying to get the crew to stay over. Anyone from the crew to stay the night. And then we see a flashback to her conversation with Captain Jason, who she asked to come to her room by saying the air conditioning wasn't working. And Meredith chimes in saying that she heard him coming out of Brittany's room.
Then Brittany says she was alone with her unicorn last night. And then Lisa, God, she cannot read a room. She just comes out so hard and fast, just declaring Captain Jason is not interested, duh. Then adds this piece with utter lack of self-awareness and says, Captain Jason wouldn't want his name in a conversation he wasn't part of. And this sends Bronwyn over the goddamn edge, because she's like, oh, well, you have no problem doing just that. I just heard you talk shit about me and my daughter's grandparents when I was not there, but you didn't know I was within earshot. And then Bronwyn reminds her of this pact that they made to leave the husbands and kids' names out of their mouths. And then Lisa tries to pull some like, I try my best. I really do. Okay. From now on, I won't do it. And I was like, you have lost all credibility and you don't get to, from now on, should have been at that lunch. So you're done. And then we get the best part of the episode as far as I'm concerned, which is Angie jumping in to support this notion that Lisa talks shit and spreads rumors about everyone after a dinner that all of the cast ladies were at. Lisa flung her hair in front of her mouth to hide her lips as she told Angie that Todd was making out with one of her friends while farting the entire time. And Lisa decides that the way to justify this information as truth is that she was raised in New York and believes the source of this rumor. I was like, what? Does that have to do with fucking anything? Okay. Bronwyn basically doesn't care about the validity of the rumor. She just cares that Lisa is still relentlessly talking shit well after she promised not to. And again, directly talking shit about a husband, which was the primary focus of that lunch agreement that they made. So F her. And then I love Mary Cosby again. I wrote down the whole thing because she is just hitting all home runs. She is the Dodgers for me this season. She said, if someone told me my husband was making out with someone and farting, I don't know which one I'd be more devastated about. I mean, both. It's just embarrassing. And then what's wrong with his intestines? Why is he farting? Oh my God, something's wrong. I just again, if I could pull these monologues and create a book of monologues for young actors, this would be number one.
It's so funny. I think she was also super relieved that it wasn't her farts being talked about. It was like, oh, phew, someone else's farts are now being discussed, not mine.
But again, last week she took like a giant dump, exited the bathroom on camera saying like, and now I'm empty enough to eat my dinner. I'm like, this woman is more scatological than anyone else on this network. And then Lisa tries to blame Angie for not being a trustworthy bitch. Okay, so this is now is suddenly Angie's fault that Angie told everyone that Lisa told her that Todd was kissing and farting.
Unbelievable. Egregious.
So desperate. And
Willful.
Angie's not having any of it. And she's just like, you got to stop talking shit about your friends. Like, it's not my fault. It's not on me. That's all her.
When they were getting ready to leave the boat, when they were all getting ready to leave, Mary reminded me of me so much when I've misjudged what I can and can't do with a hat on, and her cover-up would not fit over her hat, and the struggle. I've done that. I've been rushing, and then it ends up taking me about 5 times as long to do what I initially wanted to do because I have to completely disassemble from the top down in order to do something. And sometimes I legitimately just forget or I don't think it through. I really appreciated the Dr. Pepper thing in the beginning and then this scene. These are all things that really speak to my ADHD. They really do.
love, again, I can't say enough how I love the Angie and Mary show that takes place in their room on this yacht. Her getting her hat stuck in that poncho was amazing. I have like just enough. I know we've talked about this before. I don't mean it as any kind of slur. And in fact, my mom's neighbor, who is a therapist, noticed how I was packing and said, "Do you have OCD?" And I was like, I think I might have some. Anyways, my point is, I'm just OCD enough to not have been able to do what Mary did, which was she put the poncho on over her hat. It didn't fit. So then she pulled the poncho up, pulled her hat off through the hole in the poncho, pulled the poncho back down over her. Her hair was like kind of sweaty and matted to her head. And then she just stuck the hat right on it. And I was just sitting there going like, brush your hair back. What does that feel like? I can feel where the hair is under the hat, and it's not where the hair should be under the hat. Like I really had a little moment.
And you could see her face was sweaty.
Yes. And she's like, it's hot.
Yeah. Oy, oy, oy.
I love
Maybe
it.
the AC is not working in any of their rooms. Oh my
Dude,
God.
why does anyone go on a yacht? Everyone is
I don't know,
barfing. The
man.
rooms are all hot. It's just no thank you. Fucking
Yeah.
take me to a Michelin restaurant on land. If the yacht experience is all about 5-star Michelin cuisine, like let me have it on a place that's not going to make me barf mid-meal. Thanks.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't get it.
So we see we see cameras on Bronwyn in her room, her and Brittany's room, and she's just kind of taking a moment, staring at the wall, kind of gearing herself up for the rest of the afternoon, knowing that she's going to have to spend it with Lisa. And in her confessional, she shares she's got Todd's words in her head, like, why do you want to be with these people when they treat you like this?
And don't come to me when you have a fight with Lisa. Don't come crying to me.
Yeah. And she says there's no way to be in the same room as Lisa and not veer into this person that I don't respect in myself. But what will make Lisa mad is for me to have a good time. So I'm going to focus on having the best time. I think that's a great attitude to have. Listen, and I would probably think the same thing, like, fuck her, I'm going to have a great time to spite you. That's probably not going to make me feel as good as just like a legit, just like letting it go or just paying attention to myself. But we're all just people. We're only humans.
I would not be able to let it go. She talked about my daughter, and then she talked about my husband cheating on me and farting. Okay. I would have a real hard time letting go too, but I appreciated her taking a quiet moment by herself, finding a way to frame this that was going to work for her. She is at work. She does have to show up, and she did. And I thought she did a great job. Yeah.
No, she's not calling Todd from a floating deck surrounded by illuminated fish teeming at my feet, waiting for me to fall in the water and eat my flesh, begging, meet me tomorrow. I'm going to go home. She's like, I got to put on my big girl caftan, which I love, by the way. I fucking loved that caftan. And I loved her white sunglasses. And if I looked good with short hair, I would cut it that length and wear it in a ponytail all the time, a low pony. I thought she looked so cute all episode, Bronwyn. But yeah, Lisa sucks so bad. I know,
But she's
water wet.
she's so ineffective. I'm okay with her sucking so bad because it just has no impact. And I'm loving that. It's really
That's a
nice.
good point.
So then they arrive on their beach and there's some massages, some swimming. Some people go off to snorkel. And I love Angie is so great and Bronwyn is so great. We get a little moment between the two of them where Angie apologizes to Bronwyn for not being as supportive of Bronwyn as she thinks she should have. And she said she made an effort at the table to be supportive of her argument and encourages Bronwyn to kind of stay the course and remain stern and clear in her engagement with Lisa. Like that's the only way that this is ever, or with Brittany, sorry. That's the only way this is ever going to get shut down. Wait, Brittany or Lisa? Oh God. Good
Lisa.
night. Thank you.
Because she was trying to stand up to Lisa for
The farting makeout
for the
rumor.
comment, like, oh yeah, so you just had this lunch with Bronwyn where you guys made a pact on camera that no one was going to talk about kids or spouses or families or anything like that anymore. And she literally did it maybe weeks later, if that, at most. And unfortunately, Bronwyn, her husband, her daughter were all collateral damage in that. I did believe Angie when she said her heart hurt for Bronwyn after she did that.
Yeah.
I do believe that. And I did feel it. It did feel like a legitimate apology and mea culpa on her part. Lisa, take note. I don't think Lisa's capable of this. I think she might be constitutionally incapable, Margie.
I don't know. I
Lisa
don't
might
think
be
she's
constitutionally
ever,
incapable.
I don't know if she's ever had to try. Like, we're watching someone bottom out on a behavior that's no longer working for them. And it takes a while to bounce along rock bottom before you're like, I can't live down here. I can't claw my way back up. So I'll be curious to see. I don't know. She might just leave the show and never deal with this, or I don't know. When people realize how powerful it is to admit something and say, I'm sorry, there's kind of nothing more powerful than that. She could win everyone right back over by being like, you know what? I was an insecure dick and I did all of those things. And I, again, will have to spend the rest of my life earning your trust back. I would watch that show all day, but I don't know if she'll ever see it like that. So
No way. No way.
hard to imagine.
So Bronwyn says that, again, this whole conversation made me I really enjoyed it. It felt authentic. It felt like these are two people that I would trust infinitely more than trusting Lisa. That's my first mistake as a Bravo fan, is to trust any of these people. But what I'm saying is, on the surface, I found this conversation, this instilled trust in me. Bronwyn tells Angie that she regrets screaming and she regrets losing her mind, but she did not regret what she said, and she isn't going to take it back. And that I respect so much. I really do.
I just want to note, I don't think she lost her mind. She was actually
either.
very contained. She stood up to leave, but then sat back down. And I could feel the rage in her, the mother protector in her, all of that was activated. And the worst thing she said was like, fuck off or fuck you. That's not that bad. I think she did great.
Honestly. And Angie tells her the only way she's going to get Lisa to stop is to be really strict. I don't even know if that's going to work. I don't know. But that was Angie's suggestion. Oh, and then I loved this so much. Bronwyn said that she tries to be quick with looking at her part and taking responsibility.
Well, and it's also, I related to that little moment because I do the same thing, but like anything, as they teach you in 12-step rooms, any character asset can become a defect if it's over engaged. And I will always look for my part. What did I do wrong? What can I amend in my behavior? How can I change to make this situation, this relationship, this job, whatever, better? And this is a situation where there's nothing Bronwyn can do. Lisa is Lisa. And this is kind of a lost cause. Bronwyn has made her boundaries clear. Lisa has crossed them time and time and time again and is not admitting that she's done anything wrong. So there is nothing to trust. So the only thing to do is, sadly, what Todd said, get away.
Yeah.
Whether that's emotional distance or physical distance or both, like, she's bad news, Lisa Barlow is.
And to do something like take responsibility for your part, even if it's just in reaction to whatever terrible thing that Lisa did to kind of like elicit that reaction from you. Okay, I'll talk for myself. And this is what I projected onto Bronwyn as well. When you take responsibility in a dynamic with someone like Lisa, who is absolutely not ever someone that like apologizes, like 99.9% of the time, she doesn't apologize or take responsibility for her own actions. When I'm apologizing to someone like that, it feels extra risky and extra vulnerable because there's no guarantee they're not going to throw that back in your face at some point, or that they're not going to be like, well, you apologize, which means you did something wrong. And the fact that I let that go and do it anyway for my own sanity is, it's hard, but I respected this about Bronwyn as well. And this is the kind of stuff that continues to endear me to her versus someone like Lisa.
Yeah. There's nothing endearing about Lisa anymore. Baby Gorgeous is just can't make up for any of this shit.
Bronwyn says to Angie, look at Lisa right now. She's just getting a massage completely unbothered. I bet she's bothered, but she likes to appear that she's not. It's all about appearances for Lisa Barlow. She's so repugnant and repellent.
Yeah, and then she goes seeking more sympathy from Mary and, saying that she didn't feel supported by Meredith. And I really loved Mary for just giving it to her straight and she basically was just like, you're a bad friend. And I was like, yeah, that's the sum of it.
Is Meredith a bad friend?
Wasn't she telling Lisa that? Oh, God, sorry.
Mary was telling Lisa that Meredith is a bad friend because Meredith wasn't sticking up for Lisa as much as Mary thought she should have if they're supposed to be besties.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Because in her confessional, Mary said, I can't believe it. I'm sticking up for Lisa
Yes,
Barlow.
exactly.
You're right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I misread that. I was so fucking in my Lisa. I had my Lisa blinders on that I was like, I can't imagine anyone would have anything bad to say about anyone else but Lisa since her offenses are so glaring in this episode.
No, Mary
Interesting.
has it all wrong. Like Mary she's been so right about a lot of things this season. And when she gets it wrong, though, she gets it horrifically wrong. Like there's no like, I'm not sure about that take. It's like, oh my God, what? That's when I'm like, oh, this is leftover church programming or something. Like this is leftover weird loyalty messaging that I don't fuck with.
Yeah, that's a weird take. That's a weird take.
Very. So Meredith walks up and instead of Lisa like going like, Mary, let's not talk about it anymore. She's like, oh, Meredith, I was just filling Mary in on our conversation from earlier. That's when Mary in her confessional says she doesn't think Meredith is sticking up for her friend as much as she should. And she's astounded at herself that she's sticking up for Lisa.
Same.
Yeah. And Lisa tells Meredith, I'm good at sticking up for myself, Meredith, but every once in a while I need you to tap in and support me as well. And Meredith says, dude, if I don't agree with what you're saying at the moment, I'm not going to. And I'm tired of the narrative. And this is the highway to getting me to not support you. If you really don't want me to support you the way that they're saying that I don't, then keep going with this bullshit.
But I did love that she added the extra piece of like, if, keep going with this if you want to feel unsupported like I do. I was like, oh my fucking God.
Yeah, man.
Everyone is a narcissist. It always has to come back to you. Okay, Meredith.
God, I know.
And meanwhile, once again, the poor below deck staff is like trying to bring them drinks and food and games. And it's just like, oh God. I didn't understand this. I was going to ask you, did Heather and Bronwyn have difficulty? I don't remember them ever having trouble, but Heather seems to say that she couldn't have predicted having this much fun with Bronwyn and feeling this close to her. I didn't realize that they had a falling out. What am I forgetting?
Last season, when Bronwyn was going to invite a bunch of people on the trip to Palm Springs and Heather was left out.
Oh, that's right.
I can't remember what spurned that fucking fight. That's so funny, but
that's right. And they called Heather on FaceTime while Bronwyn had stepped away from the
Bronwyn
jacuzzi.
was like, what the hell, you guys? Yeah.
Right,
I can't remember what offense
me neither.
Heather committed, but I'm sure it was something. So yeah, I really liked it. That also endeared me to Heather a little bit, that confession.
Heather had a little bit of a better episode finally, sort of. I do appreciate Heather. I did notice Heather does vacation the way I used to be able to in college, where she's like steadily drunk the whole time. During the day, at night. She's never like so drunk or I don't know. She did a nice job of just like keeping a real sweet buzz for the whole time. And then we start playing a game of Never Have I Ever. And it starts with Mary. Again, Mary, scatological, saying, I've never peed or farted in the ocean. So we get more farts. Hooray. And then Heather, I just thought this was unnecessary. For someone who just said she can't believe how much fun she's having with Bronwyn, she says, never have I ever farted while making out with someone too soon. And Bronwyn, to her credit, has a sense of humor and is like, yes, Heather, too soon. But then it all just, again, brings back the visual of Todd, sad ice cream store Todd, making out with someone. He has the great fortune to make out with someone, and the whole time he's farting. Like, it's a cartoon. This is a cartoon.
Yeah. Oh, God. Then they did something like, I don't like this. I don't like it. It's schmaltzy. It's stupid. I am not interested. Does anybody in the Housewives fandom appreciate stupid physical games? Like in Orange County a couple years ago when they went on that slip and slide in Emily's backyard and everyone made fun of Heather Dubrow because she was in like
For
a
wearing
full
a
head to toe,
unitard.
like whale trainers, like
Yes.
wetsuit. And here they have to do this thing called necking or whatever. I don't even pay attention. I fucking can't stand it. I don't like it on Love Island. I don't like it on Perfect Match. I don't like it on The Bachelor. I don't like it on Housewives. I don't want to see dumb games. I don't care. Fill it with more Mary and Angie. I'd rather watch people scroll on their phone and not know that they're like completely lose track of the camera being there. Like I would feel more riveted by that. This stuff, I'm real heated about it.
I mean, I get it. Like Heather wrapped it up nicely by saying, like, look, when we can all do something physical and be competitive, this group has a great time. But when they use their mouths to be competitive, then they're terrible to each other. So fine. We do get a nice face plant from Brittany, which seems, I don't know, was satisfying for some reason.
It was very satisfying to Bronwyn.
I
She's
know.
like, I'm never going to get that image out of my face or out of my head.
And then they go back to the yacht to get ready for zombie dinner. And I will say at this moment, I think we check in with the crew, like in the kitchen, and the chef, who I love, says that he's going to make a zombie ice cream cake for dessert, which I thought sounded like, what fun. But it makes me so excited to watch this season of Below Deck because, I don't know who, they're so good at their jobs that they are sort of disappearing into the background. But I know when we watch Below Deck, so many of them are fighting, they're fucking, they're breaking up, they're making up, there are, cliques and factions. And I cannot wait to see the other side of this when it comes time for Below Deck to come around.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Thrilled.
I loved it. This was so fucking funny to me. Angie finds bowl cut neck tattoo Mike and asks him for a hairdryer and then to come give her a blowout in 12 minutes. And his crew mate was like, "You do hair?" He's all, No. You're a hairdresser? No, I'm not. And then Daisy tells Captain Jason that his presence has been requested for the dessert course and that he is supposed to be there without wearing a shirt.
Oh, Heather, you card.
Yeah.
Shut up.
And then Bronwyn, for some reason, has packed inflatable costumes.
Now, look, in this moment, it seems stupid. So Bronwyn has to deliver a nail file to Whitney, and she decides to recruit Angie to wear these little inflatable seahorse and shark outfits to go do that errand. That seems stupid. But I will say when we saw the preview for next week, it did make me laugh really hard when there was like an inflatable lobster and an inflatable shark throwing a stuffed unicorn over the yacht. So whatever. But this does not go well because Angie agrees to get dressed up with Bronwyn to bring a nail file to Whitney. And oh my God, the actual sick feeling I got in my stomach when Angie said the doors closed on my hand. I was like, I could feel like the bones crunching. Like that is a heavy ass door that has to say closed on a rocking sea. That is no cheap like door that is made of like plywood. That freaked me the fuck out. And initially Angie thinks she's okay, but very soon a lot of blood starts pouring out. She's clearly in terrible pain. They sit her down and wrap it. And, Bronwyn's cute. She's like, there's so much blood. It's on theme for the zombie dinner. Go ahead and leave it bloody. But Jesus Christ, poor Angie. And Angie's so sweet. She's like, I've been in so much trouble. I'm so sorry. I'm a liability, because she's already been seasick. And the second she stops barfing, she's suddenly bleeding. This poor woman is really I've had vacations like that where it's just like, I'm ready for this to be over. This was meant to be a good time, but I cannot fucking get it together. This is bad. Ooh.
We see a shot of the cast getting ready. They're doing their makeup and stuff. Mike is now in Angie's room, and she is so proud of his job doing her hair. So, okay. Nah, I don't need to talk about this. It's dumb. Never mind.
What?
No, I've been noticing a lot. Like I think it's probably like I've been considering getting biostimulators, which is an injectable like Sculptra, which is what encourages collagen. And so it can give slight lifting, very subtle, but enough maybe. And I keep hesitating. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because it's been on my mind more and more and more lately. But every time I see somebody with fillers on TV, I notice it more and more. Reality TV, scripted TV.
Lots of male actors are getting it
Yes,
now,
for
and it's
sure.
really changing jaws and cheeks in a way that's like, I don't know about this.
It really shows up on camera. And I know that Sculptra isn't technically like a filler, but like if you look at Brittany, I could see it in Angie's profile. You can see it on Heather, Jennifer Aniston on The Morning Show.
Unless you're looking straight on, it's visible. Even
Yeah.
things like, remember when Heather last episode came in crying to Angie and Mary's room, and it was the camera from the back of the cabin, and you could see where her real hair ended and her extensions began. And I was like, yeah, this is all, it's really fragile. You need to be caught in the right light at the right angle, or else you can see all of it, the filler, the extensions, all of it. It's just all bullshit.
Yeah, this is why I haven't done it yet, because I still am wondering if I can commit to it and live with the results, regardless of what they are,
I mean, the good news is that all of that stuff continues to advance. So like 6 months to a year from now, it'll be a whole new, degree of subtlety. The way that facelifts have gone from being like a pulled back, like in front of an industrial fan look, to a deep plane, which is just picking it up under the muscle. God, so many good facelifts. Again, as much
so
as I
many.
hate Julia, her fucking jawline was to die for this season on Miami.
I just can't wait for Palm Royale to start again so I can look at Kristen Wiig's exquisite work. That's
art.
the bar.
It's art.
That's the bar.
Yeah.
That's the bar. I thought that the scene with Bronwyn and Heather getting ready was really cute and very authentic and seemed like the way girlfriends would act dorky on a girls' trip.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cute. And then Mike is now done with his hair blowing job on Angie. And Angie starts to tell Mike, she's like, oh, it feels good. Like she doesn't say it looks good. She's like, it feels good.
Again, God bless this kid with no styling
Exactly.
experience for just being like, yes, I will show up and I will do this. And he did.
Heather gets blood spray on the carpet. And it's like, come on, Housewives, can you not go somewhere and not leave destruction via whatever you're putting on your skin? Remember Barbara from Roni in like season 11 or something when they went on the trip to
That was
Miami?
Ramona on the yacht, wasn't it? On the white cushions?
Barbara also left her leg
Like a whole
bronzer
stain. Yeah.
on a white bed. Yeah. And one of the girls' trips.
Maybe I'm mixing it up with a below deck episode where a yacht guest sat on the white couch in the interior, stood up and left just leg marks. So she had like just put fresh
that
bronzer
happened
on,
Sailing
sat on a
Yacht.
white
I can't remember who
couch.
did it, but I don't think it was a Bravo.
No, I'm sure it wasn't.
guest,
I conflate all of my bronzer
That makes sense.
problems. Yeah, that is the one problem with being drunk the way Heather is that like you don't like, it didn't surprise me that she got blood spray on the carpet because she's just, loose enough to not really be paying attention to exactly where she is and what she's doing.
I would be so stressed out. I would be so stressed out.
Not if you're
I
drunk
did
like
that.
that and had been for 2 days at this point.
Dude. So in a confessional, Heather tells us that she chose Zombie Night as the theme for the dinner because they all love to dig up dirt on each other and resurrect old rumors from the grave. And then we see this lame zombie movie of all of them as they enter the dinner.
Filler.
Right. So much filler, literally and figuratively.
Yep.
Heather starts to toast resilience. And then Heather kind of like asks the rest of the group, like, hey, how do we think the crew did on the zombie dinner decor? Because for those of you who don't watch Below Deck, whenever the guests request a theme, it's the crew's job to kind of source all the appropriate decor for that theme. And I thought they did a great job. Heather made me so mad. I took umbrage with this, of all things, in this episode. She muses that the hazmat balloons the crew sourced weren't appropriate. And I would like to remind you, Heather, that the hazmat logo itself was used in the marketing and the poster for what I consider to be the most terrifying preeminent zombie movie of all time. I am referring to 2002's blockbuster 28 Days Later. a movie so scary that I joked to my boyfriend at the time, you need to drop me off at a fucking psych ward because I am not the same as the person that sat down before this movie started. ArcLight sat next to Lily Sobieski.
Ooh.
It was the fucking perfect LA night, dude. It was like a packed ArcLight auditorium. That movie scared the shit out of me. It scared me so bad, I don't know if I can watch 28 years later. And I really want to. But honestly, that movie terrified the shit out of me.
I haven't seen it because I'm scared of scary movies.
Hazmat logo in the poster. Scariest zombie movie ever. Know your history, Heather. Know your zombie history. Heather then shares that she has not checked in on the home front. Has anybody else? And Bronwyn tells them, yeah, I did. I called Todd and I told him what Lisa said. And she said that Todd is unsure why he or anybody else's partner is a punchline in this group. And she turns to Lisa and she just asks her, why can't you commit to seeing husbands and children being off limits? What is the fucking barrier for you on this? And Lisa can't answer that specifically, but she's like, as of today, I will never, ever bring them up in any capacity. And I'm like, okay, Lucy Van fucking Pelt. Dude, she does say she's very sorry that she hurt her, Todd, and Gwen's feelings.
You don't get to say that after you've done this so deliberately. And I'm sorry, like the added egregiousness of making out and farting. Do you know what I mean? It's just like you are just so in the basement. You are so under the lowbrow blanket at this point, Lisa. You don't get to say, I'm sorry if that hurt their feelings. What if someone said you were making out and farting, Lisa? Like, give me a goddamn break. This woman is just dumb.
She's so dumb. And then in Bronwyn's confessional, she says, listen, I think it's rude to not acknowledge someone when they're speaking. And technically, Lisa is speaking to me right now. That's all I'm acknowledging is that Lisa is speaking to me. Otherwise,
this.
I'm acknowledging nothing. I did too.
It was so healthy to be like, I hear you are making sounds with your mouth. Let's move on.
Yep, I hear what you're saying. Oh my God. And then Lisa, in her confessional, in her, dueling confessional, she says, I don't know why Angie had to bring up what I told her about Todd. Like humiliation? I've never done that. What? You did good time, girl. You went behind your husband's back and found his biological mother. You went behind Bronwyn's back to contact Gwen's grandparents. She is making herself a victim by talking shit about the fart makeout. She says she'll defend herself, but she won't go for the jugular. What?
But that immediately she follows that by saying like, well, if someone opens the door, I'll walk through it. But it's like, no. Those two things should be mutually exclusive. Either you don't go for the jugular or you are someone who will walk through a door that someone opens. You can't have your cake and eat it too on this one, Lisa Barlow. So you're a nightmare and you suck. Period.
Don't want to trade places with you. And then the crew brings out more of the dinner. And now I see that two of the crew have like nearly identical mustaches that led to my confusion last week, calling them both Eddie, when one is probably Joao or Joar. What's his name?
Joao. But I didn't even remember seeing Joao in this episode. I don't fucking know.
I don't know. Two mustached crew came out.
They had zombie makeup on this time. Heather made them walk like zombies. I was like, enough. And then they bring out plates of lamb that I don't know why. On a zombie night, when you think about like eating flesh, I just was like, this feels gross. I would have barfed too. And this is, in fact, when Brittany, everyone's like, whoa, the boat is rocking so much. Do you feel it? And we see Brittany like retch and then stand up and leave the table and go barf over the side of the boat and then immediately return to the table. Not rinsing her mouth out, not doing anything, just sat down and had a shot of tequila. Is that okay? I don't think so.
You could just like feel the like barf sweats.
Oh, yeah.
Like she was just clammy and looked
Pasty.
very infirmed. Eating lamb, drinking copious amounts of alcohol after being in the sun all day on a rocking boat. Get me the fuck out of there. No, thank you.
Why do people spend so much money for that experience?
I don't know, man.
To me, it just feels like some sort of challenge. It doesn't sound like a vacation at all. It's like, can you get through this without barfing? And my answer would be like, I don't want to try. I'd
Yeah,
rather
dude.
be on solid ground and look at the gorgeous ocean from solid ground.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so Meredith asks what we're all thinking and says, "Why are you drinking tequila after you threw up?" And Brittany says she's trying to make herself feel better. Oh
This
my
girl
God.
does not know how to take care of herself or anyone else. Yikesies. Tequila of all things.
I'd be like, Daisy, Ramona, can you please get me a ginger ale or a 7-Up and just like a lot of crushed ice? I beg of you. Maybe a cold washcloth I can put on my forehead. I'm vile. I'm disgusting. Chicken broth, Gatorade, tequila,
I would be in my
lamb, hot ass
stateroom
meat.
so fast brushing my teeth, you can't even imagine. Then this is like, God, everyone is just in the mood to sling shit. So Brittany brings up to the table that she saw on TikTok some sort of revelation of Seth, Meredith's husband's possible indiscretion. Something about him having a mistress. An Uber driver saw Seth and this woman in the back of her car, I guess. And now this is making the rounds on TikTok. And Brittany has shown it to everyone, including Whitney, who now says, like, I saw it. And we're like, yes, because Brittany showed it to you, not because it's necessarily real. I don't know what to make of this. Meredith obviously declares that they're monogamous and tries to throw it back on Brittany, saying, this was hilarious to me. She goes, just because Jared breaks up with you every time he wants to make out with someone else. And she's like, I break up with him. I'm like, that's not, once again, not the burn you think it is. So when he wants to cheat on you, you go ahead and get ahead of it and you break up with him so he can fuck around on you and then you go back. Cool.
Brittany is so sad to watch. I have more contempt and like disgust than I do empathy when I probably should have more empathy. She has so little self-esteem and so little self-worth and is so viscerally desperate for approval that she will do the dirtiest of dirty work for the producers. And she's also a terrible actress while she's doing it. So it's like, it's almost like she doesn't even want to be bringing this stuff up.
She just barfed. There's no way that without producer nudging, she would have said a word. She would have gone away, but she wants this job so bad that she's like, yes, I just barfed. You know what I'll do? I'll have a sip of tequila and then I'll say the thing about Meredith. Here I go.
Speaking of Brittany, Margie, do you remember when they got to the Tobago Cay Island and Brittany had a fan and it had a person's face on it? Was that Olivia's face? Whose face was on her fan?
Oh, I didn't notice.
Yeah, I'll have to
Missed
Google it.
it.
I'll have to ask Reddit.
Good
Or I'll have to
Lord.
let it go and just not know. Who gives a shit? Who cares? I should fill my brain with something else that's more interesting. So
And-
while,
yeah.
oh, go ahead. You, Margie.
No,
you.
just that this fight progresses. So Meredith and Brittany keep yelling at each other. Captain Jason has decided to try to fill his obligation to sit for dessert with these women. He sits down to a zombie ice cream cake, and Meredith and Brittany cannot stop screaming at each other across the table. And so he gently stands up and walks away. And, I mean, again, just the invisibility of service people makes me insane with these women. Heather acknowledged him, but only because he was like seated directly next to her. And Meredith goes as far as like throwing the headband with the knife on it that she was wearing on her head. I mean, these people are just like, is it that deep that you have to like throw shit and ignore the captain of the yacht? Like, God, you guys.
I don't know. I don't know. It
Lord.
takes a certain kind of person to be a housewife.
Doesn't it though? Yeah.
So Jason nopes out.
And then we get that little moment between Jason and Daisy where Daisy's like, I'll go get your dessert for you, but you're not meant to sit at that table. And that, again, is where I was like, I cannot wait to see this season of Below Deck, because I swear to God, I caught a little chemistry between Daisy and Jason, which made me rethink the scene when Lisa was saying that Jason has no interest in anyone. And I was like, oh, I wonder if he has an interest in Daisy. I don't know. Anyways.
Has this season started airing yet?
No.
Or no?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
We're still
All
with
right.
Captain Sandy.
I saw a preview of it on Watch What Happens Live last night when Bronwyn was on. Bronwyn and Sarah Paulson. Ugh.
Did it look good?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes. Below Deck looked great. Yes.
Great.
The Below Deck looked great. The episode looked great. It's full upstairs, downstairs. Love it. Can't wait. Yes. Can't wait to watch it.
Hooray.
Friend, what else did? Oh, go ahead. No, you.
Oh, I was going to ask you, what else did you watch this week?
I watched the Love is Blind reunion when we were done taping last week. I went upstairs and immediately put it on. And I think that this season needs to just be put in the trash. And I was so sad for KB when she shared about her experience and how, obviously production didn't do anything to help matters with her edit. Like, God damn it.
You mean that she was edited to seem like an angry Black woman?
Yes,
and
that's exactly
yes,
right.
Yeah, just in case people haven't seen Love is Blind this season.
Edmund got such a more favorable edit. I mean, looking back, it makes sense. I'd heard rumblings towards the end of the season, or that was being discussed more towards the end of the season after they moved into the apartments. It was being talked about online, like on Reddit and stuff. I feel like producers have a responsibility. Yeah, you're making a reality show and you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. There's plenty of other shit to do. And no one asked Nick and Annie to defend their conversation about not, well, I guess if I had a gay kid, I'd support the gay kid. I wouldn't like it, but I'd love them. Oh, no, they wouldn't support it, but they would love them regardless. That's disgusting. And no one talked about that on the reunion. At least it wasn't aired if they did.
But you can't change the minds of people. What's to discuss?
I know.
If that's what they believe, what are you going to say? It's worse to listen to them dig in and justify it and say the Bible said. I don't want to hear that either. I mean, I guess I totally hear the criticism, but I watched that show because I just think it's an example of, I still think there's this tendency to need to villainize one or the other person in every relationship. And to me, I think the producers would do a bigger service if instead of focusing on that, they would focus on these people are not a good match. KB and Edmund, is that his name?
Yes.
They're both lovely individuals. They are not a good match. And I thought their wedding breakup was really, I thought KB's, what she said when she broke up with him was really thoughtful and sensitive. And I thought his reaction was devastating and real. And there is an example of why a breakup is painful, but sometimes so necessary. Like they could not have had a sustainable marriage. That was just a bad match. And it does bum me out. It bums me out that the whole conversation is about she's bad. No, he's bad. It's like they're not good for each other, you guys. Like that, I don't think either one of them is bad. I just think they gave an honest shot at something that could not work. And we watched it, and Nick and Vanessa are not the most adept at diving into the nuances of bad match versus villain hero. So
I think producers and editors had a responsibility to communicate that information without doing it in a lazy, destructive way.
Yeah, but I do think KB did a really nice job of they can also only work with what they're given, and it sounds like Edmund did a lot of his stuff off camera. And KB was like, you do these things off camera, and then when the second these things turn on, you become this guy. Yeah. And now I'm in a terrible mood because we just had a huge ass fight, and you're able to access something that makes you switch over. And that's not fucking cool. But
No.
The producers can't air shit that they don't have footage of. At least they aired KB saying that, I guess is my point. So that we could understand like why we weren't seeing what, I don't know. I've been in that situation too, where you've had a fight with someone in the car and they were able to walk into a party and go like, hey guys, nah, nah, nah. And I'm still like destroyed. And I'm like, what?
So
Who
then
are
everyone's
you? Who
coming
am
up
I?
to you like, what's wrong? And you're like,
yeah, why are you in a bad mood? What's going on?
Exactly.
Ridiculous.
I watched the Orange County finale and I was very disappointed with the ending. I was extremely disappointed with the ending. I couldn't believe it, actually. I don't even know, man. Orange County might be beyond help. I watched the morning show, I think like up to episode 5. It's really good. I love it. It's so soapy and I love it. And more vintage Roni. Yep. How about you, friend? What did you watch?
It's so funny that you mentioned that about Orange County because I watched the finale and I'm here to tell you that I agree with you that I really liked Heather all of a sudden. I thought the scene of her saying goodbye to her dad in a place where she remembers this otherwise unhappy man as being happy. I thought that was like really like kind of powerful. And it was a pretty sweet farewell full of love and forgiveness as much as is possible. I was moved by that. You know, I think she even said he did the best he could, and I would just add to that, and so did she. You know, everyone did the best they could. Self-forgiveness is part of forgiveness. I appreciated Heather's direct, unmitigated denunciation of Gretchen's lack of human decency. You didn't buy it?
I did, but then at the end, when they're all like rationalizing, well, Gretchen didn't do this. This is something's up. And then they started blaming Tamra. I was like, are you guys fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you really gonna take Gretchen's side? I mean, team nobody when it comes to Gretchen and Tamra, but on the cosmic scoreboard, what Gretchen did, screenshots have been around forever of this. Go on Reddit. Her screenshots are everywhere
I
of the
see.
shit that she likes. This is who she is.
But aren't they saying that Tamra is the one who manipulated those screenshots and dispersed them in the first place? Isn't that what the concern is at the end?
I think they're questioning that they're actually authentic.
Yeah.
And so I think that is insane.
Why?
Bravo fans have seen her problematic likes and posted screenshot. Tamara's not photoshopping or buying Photoshop shit. Like, there's plenty out there. She scrubbed a lot before this episode aired, apparently, but people came with receipts on Reddit. They always do.
Yeah.
They always do.
It just made me really curious to see the reunion because I was hugely team nobody, but it suddenly all felt, it didn't feel as clean as it all feels terrible.
Plus, like, if someone's accusing me of that and I didn't do it, something like that, if you don't think I'd literally be on my hands and knees, like grabbing people by their collars, like, do you fucking know me? Are you kidding me? I didn't do this. But she's like
really emotional at the van. No, I know, but at the van, she was like screaming, crying into the van saying, do you really think I would do this? And then, you know, I'm not saying her belief system, I'm okay with her belief system. I'm just saying this feels something stinks. And with Tamara's involvement, I wouldn't be surprised if
I understand. I hear what you're saying.
Based in a little bit of truth, surely, but I don't know. Tamara, who is having a bad season, sure timed this out right. And to have sat on it for a year, like you said, if I'm an ally and I find out that anyone I know is doing shit like this, I don't sit on it for a year when it serves me in my season. I immediately come to the fucking forefront and say, like, this is absolutely unacceptable, disgusting behavior. Tamara didn't do that.
I don't want to
So
fill up with this
weird.
person. Right,
Yeah.
right.
Real weird.
It's really
I'm
weird.
curious to see the reunions. I really am.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
And I watched Potomac, which I'm really enjoying.
Potomac. Yes,
I just
me
love
too.
it.
Me
so
too.
Great.
I love it. I love it.
That's the level of fighting. No barfing on yachts. You know, a nice sense of humor in most of them, and I'm enjoying that.
Same.
And what was your antidepressant?
Halloween was fun. It was a real scene. We went.
Kid Halloween was a scene?
Yes.
Oh.
Fucking A. Kid Halloween. The neighborhood we went to, oh my God, we went with a bunch of Leo's friends and Leo's friends' parents, and it's always fun to walk around, and the kids are absolutely fucking unhinged, and it was fun. It was really, really fun, and you know, it was the kind of night where like the bedtime rules and rigidity were out the window, and
because it was a Friday too, so
it was
like
Friday,
a freebie Halloween.
Yeah,
I
it was
love
a freebie for all of us. Yeah, so it was really fun. I love watching my husband socialize. I love it. People are obsessed with my husband. They are obsessed with him. I love watching grown men looking at my husband with heart eye emojis, and he's just being himself. These people that I would never think he would cross paths with, they just want to talk to him all night, and I love it. It makes me laugh. But who can blame them, you know? But Saturday was really one of the best days. One of Josh's friends, well, I'm friends with him too, but he's an artist, and he had an art show in San Francisco and gave a small group of us our own kind of like private tour of the exhibit. And it was a colleague friend of Josh and his family, his teenage daughter and his wife's sister, and me, and our friend Brian and his partner, Laura. And our friend Brian's artwork is so fucking moving and so speaks to what's going on right now. And to have him explain his pieces was, I teared up. It was great. It was great for my mental health too. I finally realized recently I don't like museums because I feel so bad about myself that I can't take a long time in them. Dude, I have ADHD. I can't do it. And then I feel bad and I'm like, I'm museuming wrong. I'm doing this wrong. It's like, no, dude. So now that I know that, I can relax more and give myself permission to just do a museum the way I do it. I don't have to read every little thing. But then I feel bad for the artist if I don't, because I want to honor their vision, yada, yada. You know what I'm saying. But my point is that it was a gift in more ways than one. It was a gift hearing about the art from the artist himself. And it was a gift to be able to experience looking at visual installations in a way that felt good to my brain. And then we all went to lunch after. And then Leo, Josh, and I walked by ourselves in this cute neighborhood in San Francisco and drove home. And it was just like a lovely Saturday. Unexpected, lovely. Didn't know it would be so great. And you know how it can be like when you meet new people, like, oh, is this going to be exhausting? Or is this going to be like, am I going to like these people? And it was just like, oh my God, the chemistry with all of us was great. My kid had a great time talking to grownups and a teenager he'd never met before. And it was just a perfect day. Weather was beautiful. It was great.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
it sounds like a good kind of counterbalance to Halloween, because
Oh
Halloween
my
is like
God.
so,
It was so
it's such a
overstimulating.
production. Yeah, that this is sort of like a quieter way to spend a Saturday, like with an
Yeah.
intimate group, looking at
Yes.
like really diving into cool art and then taking a little
Yeah.
walk. That sounds
Yeah.
lovely.
It was lovely. It was lovely. Margie, how about you? What was your antidepressant this week?
My antidepressant was this insanely quick, like 20-hour turnaround trip to Vegas. It was work related, but I got to go with one of my best friends and friend of the pod, Beth Crosby. And, you know, because of the government shutdowns and airports being unpredictable, we opted to drive just so we could be sure to get there and back. And it was lovely. It was like 4 hours in the car. We like talked a whole bunch. We listened to an Al-Anon meeting. We listened to music. We listened to podcasts. We stopped at Starbucks like 10,000 times because we both have like a hopeless coffee habit. I don't know. It was just like really good quality time in a confined space with someone I love very much. And because we were only there for like a minute, we shared a hotel room. So it was like our version of the Angie and Mary show. Like we got to get ready for this dinner and event that we were going to together and then come home after and like talk about it as we fell asleep. It was exhausting, but it was like really special and really sweet and really fun. So that was my antidepressant. It definitely was an antidepressant, all parts of it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that. Ah. Well, that's it. Everyone, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it. And I don't know if I have much more to say other than just like take care of yourselves and remember that you're not Lisa Barlow. I think I said that last week too, but it holds. It holds. And you're not Britney. Okay? You're not Britney. Cautionary tales. Pass. No. Not interested. I'm sorry.
Those are just people in need of some outside help intervention.
Yes, they do. Yes, they
They could
do.
really benefit. But in the meantime, yeah, everybody take good care of you, and we will talk next week.
We will talk next week, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Ramona and Margie are, obviously, not doctors and do not provide medical advice. Their content is intended to be used for entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to be, should not be interpreted as, or used as a substitute for medical advice or a diagnosis of any health or fitness problem, condition, or disease, nor a recommendation for a specific test, doctor, care provider, procedure, treatment plan, product, or course of action.
My mom isn't a doctor.